I know one die for inside this water. Oh, I be think say Europe go easy.
My name na Osaro, and this na my story. From Libya to Italy.
Osas, you sure say this Libya road go really change person life, so Osaro, no worry, you fit use Libya road take enter Europe now.
He survived Libya, but Europe still broke him. This is a story by Ivy. The first time I heard his song, I thought it was just another underground street track. The beat was rough. The lyrics were mixed with pidgin and pain. The kind of song people play once, nod their head, then move on. But when I listened carefully, I realized this boy was not singing. He was bleeding. And somewhere inside those lyrics was the story of thousands of African boys suffering silently in Europe. Boys who left home with dreams and arrived abroad carrying trauma instead. It all started in Benin City. Back when life still felt normal. Back when he still believed education could save him. Every morning, he watched students wearing neat uniforms pass through the street while traders opened their shops under the hot sun. His mother used to tell him, "Read your books well. Education is the key to success." And he believed her. Even when life was difficult, he still believed one day things would change. So after struggling for years, he decided to go back and rewrite JAM. Maybe this time, luck would finally remember him. Maybe this time, he would enter school and become somebody important. But life had another plan waiting for him. One afternoon, his phone rang. It was his friend, Osas. At first the conversation sounded normal. Just street talk. Nothing serious. Then Osas suddenly said, "My guy. No Libya road." Silence. That single sentence changed everything. At first he laughed it off. Everybody knew stories about Libya. People disappeared there. People died there. People entered prison camps there. Some crossed the sea and never returned. But at the same time, Europe was beginning to look like the only escape. Because while he was struggling in Nigeria, other boys his age were already posting pictures from abroad. Italy, France, Germany, fresh clothes, iPhones, money bouquets. Nobody posted the suffering, only the results. And slowly, his mind began to change. School suddenly started feeling too slow, too uncertain, too poor. Then Osas called again. This time he explained everything. The road, the movement, the connection men, how they would travel through different countries, how they would enter Libya, how they would cross the sea into Europe. He said, "Once you enter Europe, your life go change." That was the sentence that finally broke him. Because when you are tired of suffering, hope can become dangerous. The day he left Benin City, he did not tell many people. His mother thought he was still trying to figure life out. She had no idea her son was about to disappear into the desert. As the bus moved farther away from home, he stared through the window silently. Fear sat inside his chest. But so did hope. At that moment, Europe looked like salvation. The journey was worse than anything he imagined. Long dusty roads, overcrowded vehicles, hidden border routes, sleepless nights, fear of immigration officers. Sometimes they slept outside. Sometimes they stayed hungry for almost entire days. Sometimes smugglers treated them like animals. But nobody complained too much. Because everybody there was chasing the same thing. Survival. Then came the desert. The dry desert Osas had talked about so casually on the phone. Nothing prepared him for it. The heat felt evil. People became weak quickly. Water became more valuable than money. He saw grown men cry quietly at night. Some people became sick during the journey. Some could not continue. Some were abandoned. And in that endless desert silence, he began asking himself one terrifying question. What if I die here? Before even reaching Europe. But turning back was impossible. So he kept moving. Step by step. Country after country. Pain after pain. Until finally they entered Libya. Libya was not Europe. Libya was survival. Everything there felt dangerous. Armed men. Fear everywhere. Violence. Street tension. Sometimes migrants were beaten. Sometimes cheated. Sometimes locked inside terrible places waiting for sea movement. This was the part nobody showed on Facebook. No designer clothes. No champagne. No luxury apartments. Just Africans trying not to lose their minds. But eventually, the sea journey came. The night they entered the boat, fear swallowed everybody. The water looked endless. The boat looked too small. Yet everybody entered anyway. Because after surviving the desert, nobody wanted to turn back. As the boat moved across the dark water, people prayed quietly. Some cried. Some called on God continuously. And for the first time in his life, he truly understood how close death could feel. Hours later, when they finally reached Italy alive, people celebrated. But he would later realize something painful. Crossing into Europe was not the end of suffering. It was only the beginning. Reality hit him hard. No documents. No stability. No real support. Just survival. The only jobs available were hard labor jobs. Shentro. Shoroti. Long stressful work. Little money. Body pain. Mental exhaustion. And yet, back home, people believed everybody in Europe was rich. That pressure alone almost destroyed him. Because every call from Nigeria came with expectations. Send money. Help your family. Things should be better now. But nobody asked if he was okay. Nobody saw the depression. Nobody saw the loneliness. Nobody saw him staring at the ceiling some nights wondering if he made the biggest mistake of his life. But through all the pain, he still held on to one thing. Music. Music became the only place he could breathe freely. Every painful memory became lyrics. The desert. The road. The struggle. The disappointment. The pressure. Everything entered his songs. And deep inside himself, he truly believed his music would save him one day. Not Yahoo. Not fraud. Not begging people online. Music. Because one thing about him, he hated begging. Not because of pride, but because he believed God gave him talents for a reason. He used to think, how can I be living abroad and still be begging people for help? So he kept pushing, recording songs, sharing music, trying to promote himself, hoping one song would finally change his life. But success never came. At least not yet. And slowly, the frustration started eating him alive. Because while he struggled in Europe, some of his old friends involved in Yahoo were already succeeding financially. Cars. Houses. Luxury lifestyle. Meanwhile him, the one that crossed desert and sea, still had nothing solid to show for his suffering. That pain changed him deeply. Not jealousy. Just heartbreak. Because sometimes life can make a good person feel foolish for choosing the honest path. There were nights he questioned everything. Maybe people didn't like his style. Maybe his dreams were unrealistic. Maybe Europe was not meant for him. maybe music would never work. But even inside all that darkness, one thing refused to die: hope. Because despite everything, he still believed God would remember him someday. He still believed his story was not over. And honestly, that is the saddest part of all this. Not the desert, not Libya, not even the suffering in Europe. The saddest part is watching somebody fight so hard not to give up on themselves. Today, people may hear his songs and think it is just ordinary street music. But hidden inside those lyrics is a boy from Benin City who survived one of the hardest journeys imaginable, only to arrive in Europe and continue fighting silently. And somewhere tonight, he is probably still praying the same prayer: God, bless me before it becomes too late. And maybe, just maybe, one day the world will finally hear him. This story is inspired by real-life experiences of many African migrants chasing a better life abroad. But his journey isn't over yet. Will music finally change his life? Or will the struggle break him completely? Part 2 coming soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional true life stories. And you can support the artist by following Detrela Chefbob on YouTube via TikTok. And this is a story by Ivy.